Oh, lights. That's not it. Not bad. And I don't even have a union card.
Who's there? Who's out there? Is that you, Mr. Dennison?
Hello, Ernie. How have you been?
Fine, sir. Just fine. Any trouble getting in?
No problem.
Oh. Well, you gotta be careful when the theater's closed. Some of those junkies and winos from Broadway, they try to bed down in the lobby overnight.
Encourage them, Ernie. The theater was meant for the common man.
Well, it sure is nice to see you, Mr. Dennison. Been a while. Nobody seemed to know where you were.
I've been in Maine, to a little house in the woods. I took some time to think things out. Do you think you could find me a table and some chairs?
Sure. Well, what do you have in a rehearsal?
Only a reading. I've started writing a new play.
That's where it all begins, right? With the words.
Yes, with the words.
Mr. Dennison! Mr. Dennison!
Yes, Sally?
Oh, thank heavens this is the right place. It was all so dark and spooky out there. I thought a real legitimate theater would be all lit up.
Not when it's closed, dear.
Yes, let's suppose that's right.
This is my new secretary, Ernie, Miss Sally Barnett, all the way from Maine.
I've never been in New York before. I mean, doesn't it make you nervous?
No.
You got the scripts?
Yes, I went to the duplicating place and I told them to put it on your bill. Then I walked left for 7 blocks to Broadway, then right again, and now I'm here.
Any trouble?
Well, funny-looking man in big hat and high-heeled shoes asked me to have breakfast with him, but I just said it's after 1 o'clock, and I've already eaten lunch, and then I walked away very fast.
Terrific, Sally. You have proven you can handle the big city. Now, would you take the envelope and put it on my attaché case over there?
Yes, sir.
The chairs, Ernie?
Oh, yeah. Mr. Dennison, I never got the chance to talk to you at the funeral, but I wanted you to know how sorry I was.
That's very kind of you.
It seems like such a long time ago, but it's only a year, isn't it?
Yes, a year. Exactly 1 year.
I'll get those chairs.
You know, Sally, you're right. There is something spooky about an empty theater.
What he said, he meant about Miss Wells, didn't he?
You knew about Monica?
She was a big movie star, Mr. Dennison. The last few years, we've had movies and newspapers in Maine.
I didn't mean that the way it sounded. I simply meant you knew about Monica and me.
Yes. Was this the theater?
This theater. A year ago tonight. It was all brightly lit, the marquee lights twinkling. You could just feel the electricity of a Broadway opening night in the air.
Ladies and gentlemen, the call is half hour to curtain. Half hour.
Half hour to curtain. The theater isn't open yet, but the first few audience members are already waiting in the lobby. Those that sit in the balcony and watch all the celebrities arrive. Backstage is a mass of flowers, telegrams, a cast exchanging little gifts with clammy hands. I got out of my cab on 58th Street. I was too nervous to sit still, so I walked the rest of the way. I went in down the little alley and through the stage door.
Good luck, Mr. Dennison. Hope it's another hit like Laughter in the Dark. Opening night is always so exciting, isn't it, Mr. Dennison? Well, I best be getting back to my post. Good luck, sir. Oh, I mean break a leg, sir.
I came through the wings onto the stage, headed for Monica's dressing room to wish her good luck. I was surprised to see her standing on stage. Monica, why aren't you in your dressing room?
Oh, I'm almost ready. I just couldn't stand it alone in there anymore.
My poor darling.
I just thought that if I could come out here and get a feel of the theater when it was empty, then maybe I'd cope with it later when there was people in it.
It's just opening night jitters.
Oh, is that what it is? I thought it was maybe just a garden variety seasickness like the people on the Titanic had. Alex! What if I don't remember the lines? I know I won't remember the lines. I'll go blank the second I walk on stage.
You'll be marvelous.
They'll laugh at me.
They're supposed to. It's a comedy.
Oh, who invented opening nights? This is barbaric. Look at that. I'm actually trembling. I never get this way when I'm doing a film.
Now, I've told you, movies are for children. The theater's a different animal.
Well, I want to be good. I want to make you proud of me.
You will.
Don't. I love you, but it took me a half an hour to get my lips on right. You saw this.
Sure everyone did. No one misses Meg Jones' column.
At least we don't have to keep secrets anymore. Cat out of the bag department. Actress Monica Wells and playwright Alex Dennison have a major announcement to make tonight.
She makes it sound like we're running for office.
The couple's hush-hush romance during the rehearsals of the new Broadway comedy Chamber Music finales in a quiet wedding tomorrow, whether the play is a hit or a flop tonight. Congratulations, fellas, and sorry to spoil the surprise.
Has a way with words, doesn't she?
I'd like to wring her neck. How did she know?
Well, we took out a license and got ourselves a judge. Somebody's got a big mouth.
And Meg Jones has a big ego. If I ever run into her...
You'll be perfectly charming. And gossip's gossip. It's their job.
Here's some more telegrams, Miss Wells.
Thanks, Loretta. Here, put this in the kitty box for me, will you?
Yes, shouldn't you be combing out? It's 15 minutes to curtain.
Oh, no, the curlers. When I was a little girl, I was going to be a nurse. Where did I go wrong?
I think I'll leave before you break out into hives.
Alex, I'm scared to death.
If it helps, I love you.
That helps. Oh, who cares about my lipstick? That's it. No more butterflies. I'm going to be wonderful.
I never doubted it.
Alex, silly question.
Yes?
You have a lot of power in the theater. I mean, people will pretty much do what you say, isn't that right?
Well, so I keep telling them. But if you're asking me to bribe a critic...
Nothing like that. But I suppose you could keep someone from working if you really wanted to.
Probably. Were I vindictive instead of the tender-hearted creature you've come to adore. What's this all about? Did someone put pepper in your face powder?
I was just wondering.
Oh, Monica, you're serious. Why?
Oh, the curlers. Did I tell the dresser to iron my second act costume? Alex, I've got to go. I love you, and what did they say in the real theater? Break a leg.
Well, 10 minutes to blast off. I've given my last note. How's Monica?
Traditional response. She's terrified.
I just talked to our leading man. David's making room on our show for a Tony.
Good. Let him keep thinking he's the star.
Well, I hope they all do justice to the words.
Lloyd, it's a nice little commercial comedy. Nothing cosmic. If we're a hit, fine. If not, we'll survive.
Either way, I'm grateful for the shot at directing it.
Now, don't get maudlin on me. You've done a good job.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2 minutes. The call's 2 minutes. Places, please.
Well, that's it. Where are you going to watch? Back of the house or from the wings?
Watch, are you kidding? That's cruel and unusual punishment.
Oh, don't touch that!
You see, Sally, I can't watch my own opening nights. It's too nerve-wracking. I mean, those months, sometimes years of work. And if the critic has a stomach ache, or a fight with his wife before the show, or doesn't find it funny, or dramatic, or whatever, all that work is gone. So I wander. Backstage, outside, front of the house, gentleman's lounge. That night, I waited till backstage got dark, and then I snuck up the stairs. And when the curtain went up, I peeked through the front box. The set looked nice. Actors knew their first 10 lines of dialogue. So I went downstairs into the lobby, talked to Ernie the doorman. Then finally, when I couldn't stand it anymore, I went inside. Bella Lamb, the producer, was standing in the back.
Women should never be producers.
Is it your nerves?
My feet. Men producers can stand in the back, and they don't have to wear high heels.
I went outside, down the street to a little coffee shop called Nora's. The coffee's rotten, but you can always get a seat. I talked to Nora, had some coffee. Tasted like Swiss cheese. I came back and sat in the gentleman's lounge where I could hear all the dialogue and whatever laughs there were. Suddenly I saw Lloyd. How's it going? Lloyd was in no condition to tell me. I went outside again. I was in front of the stage door when the first act broke, and Loretta, the stage manager, came out for a breath of fresh air.
Alex, how can you be out here when everyone else is in there watching your baby being delivered?
I'm trying to forget. How did the first act go? Wait, don't tell me.
Went very well. A lot of laughs.
I didn't hear that. I walked around the block. When I got back, most of the people had already gone back in for the second act. but Bella was still standing in the lobby.
Come and watch, Alex. I'm gambling $600,000 on this show, and the least you could do is watch the opening.
I've gambled 2 years' work, Bella. I'm taking the night off.
Speaking of gambling, what's this I read about you and Monica in Meg Jones' column? Is it true?
Would Meg Jones lie?
Amazing. I've been at every rehearsal, and I never knew you two were even...
Keeping company? Well, we were discreet. We didn't want to upset any apple carts. We were going to announce it at the party tonight.
So that's why Monica wanted to have the party at her apartment.
All right. You'll be there.
Of course. Oh, that's Act 2. Oh, God, please let them laugh at the business with a champagne bucket.
I walked around the block again, and again. 8 times, maybe 12, I don't know. Even the panhandlers stopped asking for money. When I came back the last time, the critics were rushing out of the theater to make their deadlines. I tried as usual to read the expressions on their faces. Pleased, annoyed. They all looked like they had nothing more on their minds than getting a cab. Inside the theater, the cast were taking their bows. Oh, Karen Daniels. She had a small part in the second act and understudied Monica. Leo Gibbs, the comic. And then our leading man, the ever-popular David Matthews.
Nice of you to drop by. Now you applaud. Where were you when we needed laughs in the scene with Karen?
The audience loves Monica, I could tell that. As to whether or not they liked the play or not, I wasn't sure. But they loved Monica. She looked radiant. Monica didn't even change. She left the theater immediately. She was giving the party at her apartment and wanted to get out before the hordes of phony well-wishers stormed backstage. In 5 minutes, backstage was a zoo, a jungle. The publicity man had a national magazine he wanted me to talk to, so by the time I got to Monica's, the party was already in full swing. It looked as though the zoo had been moved from the theater to Monica's apartment. I didn't see Monica, but I did see the actors. They were by the food, naturally.
Isn't this wonderful? I keep bumping into famous people.
They're all rented for the evening, and they'll leave if the reviews are negative.
When will we hear about the reviews?
Someone should phone them into Bella.
Well, that's why she's in the kitchen.
In the kitchen.
By the phone with Lloyd. They're just standing there staring at it. They've been there all evening. They didn't even eat.
The death watch. It's easier on an empty stomach.
Where's Monica? The hostess ought to put in an appearance.
Well, I guess you're just gonna make an entrance.
Obviously, but it's a bit overdue, don't you think?
I'll go and get her.
I think the bedroom's that way.
No, dear, that's the study. The bedroom is beyond it. Here, Leo, give me these. Monica might need it. Monica! Monica!
That you, Alex?
Yes, come on out.
Coming.
Guests are getting restless. They want to see the hostess.
Darling.
Need some wine?
In a minute. Can you just put it over there for me?
Sure. What were you doing?
The truth? I was standing on the terrace outside the bedroom, looking over the tops of all the buildings, all the way back to Broadway, and all those lights.
Standing on the terrace.
Thinking. Oh, I'll just be a minute.
I've seen actors do strange things on opening nights, but counting money?
Would you believe it? With all the excitement, I ran out of cash. I got this from the bank today. Put this somewhere for me, will you, darling? I don't like it lying around.
Was that thunder I heard? Oh, sign's importance. Let's hope it's not an omen. What's all this?
Well, that's my junk heap. There's still things you don't know about me. Magnifying lens. Doesn't everybody have one? Well, that's a Girl Scout knife, an heirloom. That's a necessity. I got it last night. There was a power failure and no lights for nearly 2 hours.
Living with you is going to be an adventure. Which reminds me, the sooner you go out there and face the mob, the sooner we can get them out of here. We've hardly had a moment alone for days.
Alex, I'm getting married tomorrow.
I know, so am I.
In Judge Ebersol's chambers?
Why, yes.
What a coincidence. Noon.
Actually, yes, I think it is noon.
Well, what good luck. I must be marrying you. But since I am, you see, I'll need all the time I can get tonight to get myself together, to get ready. So when I get the troops out, I'd really like to be alone.
Really?
Well, you shouldn't see a bride before her wedding. Do you mind?
A little.
I'll make it up to you. I promise.
That's a good start. Now you go out there and show them what a real star looks like.
Come with me?
I'm just the writer. Stars make their entrances alone.
Wonderful! I couldn't get near the bar. I seem to remember Monica kept a tray of spirits in here.
You don't drink.
That was yesterday.
Did you get a call?
3.
Here, Bella. I knocked over the costume designer and got through to the bartender.
Were they bad?
Bad is a relative term. Actually, the reviews were mixed. Some were good and some were bad. But I think the Times sent an obituary writer.
That's the regular critic. They say he eats his young.
And if the Times are bad, it hardly matters what the others say. Sorry, Alex.
What did they have to say about Monica?
They liked her. Nothing ecstatic. The Post thought she was a little stiff.
I don't want her to see that review.
Can't we try for a run? Her name means something, Alex. So does yours.
It's up to the producer.
Let me sleep on it. That is assuming I can sleep. I'll go to the ad agency in the morning and assess the damages.
If we could only stay open a few more weeks, get some word of mouth.
We'll see.
Here it comes. The storm. It's starting to rain buckets out there. It's rather appropriate, don't you think?
There, Alex. We tried our best. We really did. It's the nature of the beast. And there's no beastliness like show beastliness.
Oh, are you leaving, Mrs. Lamb?
I thought it was time. The coach turned back into a pumpkin.
Oh, well, good night.
Don't be silly.
You're right. I never saw people leave a party so quickly.
Departing the sinking ship. How are you? Bearing up?
I don't know. It just hasn't hit me yet.
Alex, I don't care what the reviews say. I think it's a terrific play.
Thanks, Leo. That's just what I needed to hear.
I never saw anything like it. Nobody read the reviews, yet they all seem to know. The piano player stopped playing mid-bar, and there's nobody left but the caterers.
I'm sorry.
Don't be.
You're amazing. I mean, I've had a few hits, so I can be philosophical. Well, more or less. This is your first time out. You're being very stiff upper lip.
I wanted a success, but I care more about the playwright than I do the play.
And my daddy told me never to marry an actress.
Sorry, Monica. I was just wondering if I could borrow an umbrella. It hasn't rained like this since John Huston filmed the Noah's Ark sequence.
Can't you get a cab?
I tried. There's one parked across the street, but naturally the idiot's got his off-duty sign on. That's what I love about New York.
Well, you know, of course, if we were in Los Angeles doing a movie, it'd probably be an earthquake.
I'm sorry, David. I loaned the last one to Bella.
Yeah. When your luck goes, it goes. Suppose after those reviews I could use a cold shower. Good night. Again.
We're coming with you. Maybe if it's 4 against 1, we can frighten the cabbie into taking us.
We can try.
I'm awful sorry. See you at the theater tomorrow.
I still love Alex.
Sure you want me to leave?
Of course I don't want you to leave.
No,
But you have to. An actress needs to prepare herself, so does a wife. I'm going to make myself a pot of tea, climb into bed, and then drink it.
All right. I'll call you at 10 in the morning to wake you up. Will that be enough time for you to get to the judges by noon?
Yes. Alex, you do love me.
Very much. Why?
I was such an idiot last week.
It's past history. You were angry.
Not much of an excuse. Missing a performance, stranding everyone, and that isn't even the worst part.
Monica, is something wrong?
Not if you love me.
I had to walk home. The rain was torrential, the wind whipping it in sheets across the side streets. It was about a mile to my apartment. When I was about half a block away, I did see a cab. He even slowed as though to entice me. I guess I was the only person walking around New York at that time of night. When I got up to my apartment, I could hear the phone ringing from the corridor.
Hold it. Wait a minute. Ah. Hello?
Alex?
Monica! Hold on, let me get my coat off.
Alex, I know how awful it is out, but can you possibly come back here?
What? When?
Right now. Alex, I'm sorry, but please, it's terribly important.
I thought you wanted to be alone tonight.
I did, but
Monica? Monica? When I got back, there must have been 5 police cars in front of the building and an ambulance. They were lifting one of those stretcher things onto it. Whatever was on it was completely covered. I tried to get through, tried to see, but the cops wouldn't let me. They told me to go into the apartment. In the lobby, there was a crowd, I don't know. Neighbors, some in raincoats, some in robes, an old man with a little dog. When I got up to the apartment, the door was open. The janitor was there, and a police officer, a woman. I told her who I was, and she took me into the study. The living room was still a mess. Somehow the caterers hadn't cleaned up after the party. There was another police officer. He was sitting at the desk in the study. He was on the phone.
Wells, Monica. That's right. Of course she was dead when we got here. It's a 10-story drop.
Perhaps we better wait in the living room. This is Mr. Dennison, Miss Wells' fiance.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. No, her fiance just came in. How did you happen to come by, sir?
She called me.
How long ago?
I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes. I couldn't get a cab.
Here, take this.
No, thank you.
You better have it, sir. You've had quite a shock.
No, I'm really not thirsty. She always made herself a pot of tea before she went to bed.
She called him 30, 40 minutes ago. All right, I'll talk to him. Call you back. Mr. Dennison? Mr. Dennison?
Yes.
Miss Wells gave a party tonight, sir. And you were here.
Yes.
How was she when you left her?
What?
I was wondering if she was depressed.
Listen, maybe we better do this tomorrow. Talk to Lieutenant McElroy then?
No, I'm fine. No, she was not depressed.
I guess you were the last one to see her alive then, sir.
Well, the caterers people were here when I left. They were still cleaning up.
Didn't do much of a job.
Do you know any reason why...
Why what?
Why Miss Wells might want to take her own life?
No, I know no reason that Monica would want... I do not believe that Monica Wells could have killed herself.
She left a note.
Oh, that's not possible.
It's in the typewriter.
Would you mind? Could you read it to me?
It says, I'm sorry, but it's better this way.
A year ago? How awful for you.
I'm sorry, Sally. I shouldn't have burdened you with all that. It's just I've been thinking about it a lot lately and being back here.
That's all right. I mean, if it helps to talk about it.
I don't know if it helps, but maybe today will.
You miss her a lot, don't you?
Yes, Sally, do me a favor.
Sure.
Go out the stage door, turn left, go about half a block, down to a little luncheonette. The sign says Nora's. Get about a dozen coffee, cream on the side, and a dozen Danish.
Danish?
That's New York for a sweet roll.
Isn't that odd? Left, half a block, Nora's?
You got it.
I put a table and some chairs back there, If you need some more, there should be some on the wings.
Fine, thank you.
Do you want me to flap the curtain?
No, don't bother. As a matter of fact, why don't you take the rest of the day off?
Really? Well, I don't know. You know, if anything should happen.
Like what, Ernie? Plague? Pestilence? Trust me, if I smell smoke, I'll call for the Marines.
But if anything...
Go home. Open a beer and soak your feet. I'll take full responsibility.
Somebody just came in.
That's the first arrival. You go out by the stage door.
Well...
Leave your number on the bulletin board. I'll call you to lock up.
Oh?
Who's there?
Me. Do you want me up on stage? Or?
No. Stay somewhere in the back where you won't be noticed. When the others get here, I don't want them to see you.
Right, so unless anyone tries to leave, then I come down to talk to them.
That's it. It's essential that they stay here, all of them. If even one of them leaves, this won't work.
Well, it might not work anyway.
What makes you say that?
I don't know. Like I told you before, Mr. Dennison, it's your show. I'm just here to watch.
I found it. That Nora sure is nice. She's like a real person, not like a New Yorker at all.
Thank you, Sally, but I wouldn't say that in public. There are about 8 million people who might resent it.
Can I put these down? The one with coffee's hot.
Yeah, back here. Now, Sally, when the others get here, I want this to run as smoothly as possible. You understand what I told you about setting up the scenes?
Uh-huh.
All right, good. Ernie left some more chairs off left. Use them.
Right. Alex? Hello, Alex.
Karen, my love, come up here and let me get a good look at you.
I want you to know I got up at the crack of noon today just for you.
You've changed. Much more provocative.
It's my new image. I got tired of being a sweet little ingenue. Now I'm going to be a sexy leading lady.
Is the image working?
Well, I'll know in a week. I'm up for the lead in this play. It's between me and this other girl. Woman.
Well, good luck.
I think I'll get one of her pictures and stick pins in it. Well, you always said I was ambitious.
So I did. How's Leo?
How would I know?
I forgot my own rule. Never ask for anyone's husband if you've been away longer than 3 months.
Yes, things do change.
I'm sorry. He's going to be here today. Is that going to be a problem?
Not at all. If I don't look down, I probably won't even notice him.
Can I get you some coffee?
Keep it in your pocket?
No, I was just going to unveil it.
Oh, who are you? I'm Sally Barnett, Mr. Dennison's new secretary, from Maine.
Really? I didn't even know they had secretaries there.
Hello? Anybody home?
Who's there?
Just Jack and Jill tumbling down your little hill, Alex. We ran into each other outside.
It was fate. She was getting out of her $30,000 limo, and I was getting out of my $100,000 bus.
Is that Karen? Hello, Mrs. Lamb. How are you? Hi, Lloyd.
What is this, remembrance of things past?
Reunions are good for the soul. Come on over.
I really hate this place, Alex. Too many memories. It's only because of my affection for you that I'm here again.
Noted and appreciated.
How are you, darling? It's been a long time. Still writing, I hope.
Off and on.
Looks like mostly on. I see scripts.
Yeah, mustn't touch. We still have to wait for the rest of the cast to get here.
Cast? He's being mysterious. It's the playwright's prerogative. And it's the producer's prerogative to have a Danish.
What an odd sound. Someone calling an empty theater?
Sally, would you get that? It's near the stage door.
There's a phone call for you, Mr. Dennison.
Ernie, I thought you went home.
I didn't feel right about leaving.
Sally, get the phone. I told you it wasn't necessary for you to stay.
Well, I mean, it's my job to look after the place.
I don't want you here. Is that clear enough?
Sure, Mr. Dennison.
I'm sorry, Ernie. I don't know what's gotten into me today. Here. Take this for your troubles.
Oh, I couldn't do that, Mr. Dennison.
Forget about it. I'll call you when we're finished.
Okay.
It's a Mr. Santoro.
Alex seems jumpy today. It's not at all like him.
Well, wouldn't you be? This theater? And you realize it was exactly a year ago that the play opened.
I didn't even think of that.
I'd swear this coffee comes from Nora's. She makes the only coffee I've ever had that tastes like tuna fish.
Okay, fine. Tell them to get here in about half an hour and tell them they can park their truck by the stage door.
There you are, Alex. They said you disappeared.
No, Leo, welcome.
To what?
That's a good question.
I know. It's all a plan to get me and Karen back together.
Ha! Don't be ridiculous.
No, nobody told me that you were going to be here, dear.
Does that mean you wouldn't have come?
Alex wants me here, and that's good enough for me.
You're being obsequious, Leo.
Fine, I'll stop. If you tell me what that means.
Alex, whatever you have in mind, shouldn't we get started?
There's still one more to come, right? Unless I miss my guess, it's... Well, speak of the devil.
Sorry I'm late, everybody. Somebody parked a cab in the middle of 46th Street just went home. My, it's a rogues gallery up there. We having a class reunion?
Don't knock it. The man's passing out free food.
Get some coffee, David, and we'll begin.
No problem. They'll be here in half an hour.
Fine. Would you hand out a script to everyone and then get set on the first scene?
Sure. Is this what it's really like in show business?
Nothing is what it's really like in show business.
Leo, old friend, didn't you once tell me you went to medical school?
You mean before I went wrong and became an actor? Yeah. Why?
Because I have the king of all hangovers.
You're just dehydrated. Have some water.
Only if it's a good year. Now there isn't any. Coffee will have to do. Comes from Nora's.
Tuna fish taste?
This one's more like Western omelet.
Would you two join the party?
All right, Alex. You have the floor.
First of all, I'd like to thank you all for coming. I'm very grateful. I know I haven't been in touch during the past year, but as you know, it's been a difficult time for me.
Alex, where were you? I tried to call.
I rented a house in the Maine woods and brooded. 6 months, I didn't even look at a typewriter. The problem, naturally, was guilt. Guilt over failing all of you, but mostly guilt over Monica's death.
Alex, it wasn't your fault.
She was depending on me for success. She needed it. And when that didn't happen, she went into depression and...
Look, we all feel a little guilty, but no one could have predicted this kind of reaction. It was so extreme.
Anyway, that's all over and done with. The point is, I finally started writing a new play.
Bravo.
It's just bits and pieces, but it's starting to come together.
So that's why we're here.
I'd like to try it out, see how it looks on its feet, and naturally, I want your input.
Why us?
Call it making amends. I've written parts for several of you.
This is beginning to sound interesting.
Lloyd, I'd like you to direct, and Bella, my sweet, you have first option, assuming you like it.
Of course I'll like it.
I've rented the theater for the afternoon, so let's read through it, talk about it, and see what we've got. Oh, and by the way, it's something new for me. A mystery.
Oh, good. They do well. And if not, you can always sell them to television.
Unusual form. You take the audience by the hand and lead them in the wrong direction. They trust you and you betray them. All in the name of surprise.
Sort of turns us into chess pieces, doesn't it?
And that bothers you, David?
In a way. The characters I play are always so cardboard. I like roles with flesh and blood.
Well, I don't know about the flesh, David, but I can guarantee the blood.
What's it called?
Killing Jessica. Sally?
I like the title. Is Jessica the lead, since I seem to be the only actress here?
Actually, the part of Jessica is not exactly cast yet, but I have another part in mind for you, Karen.
Oh.
Don't worry, it's a good part. You'll have fun with it.
Alex, these scenes are unconnected.
But as I said, Lloyd, bits and pieces. That's why I need your help.
Well, can you give us an overview?
It's a play about another play, one that's in rehearsal.
And Jessica?
She's the star. A rather complex character. She's made several films, mostly fluff, and she was embarrassed by them, so she walked away. She hibernated. She traveled. And then she decided to take a chance on the theater. She got the leading role in a Broadway production, moved to New York, and committed herself to a new career.
She sounds familiar.
Does she? Well, I always start with what I know.
And this title, if we can believe it, someone kills her?
Oh, yes. It's made to look like something else, but it's a murder.
Sorry.
David, mind reading a scene with me?
Why not?
You're the leading man, handsome, attractive to women.
Typecasting.
Sally, go to the light board and pull number 3 and number 7. This takes place in the middle of the first act. The setting is your apartment. That's a sofa.
Am I married?
Several times, but not currently. You've invited Jessica over for a private rehearsal. You've told her it's commonplace in the theater.
And she believed me?
Well, she must have, because she comes.
If Karen isn't going to read the part, who do I play with?
Me, I'm afraid.
You?
You're in the imagination business, David. Give it a try. If it helps, why don't you think of, I don't know, Monica playing the role?
Monica?
Actually, it's not a bad idea. Just pretend I'm Monica.
Yeah, but...
Let's begin. At curtain, the doorbell rings. You're off stage. It rings again. You enter.
Coming, just a second.
You reach the door. Open it. Just imagine Monica. She says, hi.
Am I early or late?
Right on time. Come in. Sorry about not doing this at your place, but I'm a bit under the weather.
Well, if you'd rather wait.
No, this is too important. We have to protect ourselves.
I hope that's an exaggeration.
My dear, the director isn't up there with egg on his face. We are. And when something isn't working,
Like Act 2, Scene 1.
among other pitfalls, it's up to us to provide corrective surgery.
Well, shouldn't we have told him we were rehearsing?
He's the problem, not the cure. Drink?
No, thanks. I'm having some trouble with some of the transitions.
You have a genuine sense of dedication. It's refreshing.
Well, thank you.
That's why I'm glad we get this chance to know each other better. Strangely enough, it can help with the performance. I suppose that's why so many leading men and ladies establish a very close rapport. What do you think?
I think we should be rehearsing the scene, really.
There's plenty of time.
Please, we're supposed to be rehearsing.
Are we?
I think this was a mistake. Maybe I should just go home.
Why all the fuss? It's perfectly natural. We work together every day. We play love scenes.
Just let go of me. Just leave me alone.
Listen, lady, you agreed to come here. I didn't force you.
Okay, so I was naive. I actually thought we were going to rehearse. Now may I go home? Now look!
I don't like being turned down.
And I don't like someone forcing his attentions on me, especially someone a bit too egocentric and a bit too unattractive. Good night.
Sorry, Alex, I just don't like it.
Why is that, David?
Well, the man is totally unsympathetic. I wouldn't come on to someone like that.
How would you come on?
Privileged information.
No, I'm serious. Let's say, just for the sake of argument, you wanted to come on to, I don't know, Monica.
Monica? Why do you keep mentioning Monica?
Well, she was one of your leading ladies, and you do have a certain reputation.
Alex, what is this? Monica and I were friends, co-workers.
Well, rehearsals can be an intimate process. I got the impression you were attracted to her.
You were wrong.
If you say so. But it's academic, isn't it? We were talking about the scene, and I thought you were wonderful. Very believable. Lights. Any comments? Don't be shy.
Question. What are you going for? What's the point of the scene?
The point, Lloyd, is that in every murder mystery, everyone has to have a motive.
Oh, you mean she kills him because she rips his heart out?
Well, I didn't say he was the culprit, Leo. But vanity can be a powerful force.
Nobody will believe it. You don't commit a murder just because someone rejects you.
No? Well, no one had any trouble believing that Monica killed herself because she was in a flop.
That was... well, different.
Of course it was. Forgive me. Bella's right. There are too many memories here. I'll just help Sally change the set and we'll go on to the next scene.
What was that all about? What's he trying to prove?
I think... talk about it later.
This is quite wrong, of course, but it was all I could find in the prop room. This is meant to represent an elegant art gallery.
Another set? This play is getting expensive.
It'll all be done in lighting, Bella. Very imaginative and very cheap. Lloyd, mind reading a scene with me?
Me? Why not Leo?
I'm saving him for his own scene. Would you please? It's Act 2, page 18.
Okay, got it. Who do I play?
A director.
More typecasting?
It helps me get a fix on the characters. Again, I'll read the part of Monica. Excuse me, did I say Monica? I meant Jessica. And you'll need this.
Alex, this paper's a year old.
Is it? It doesn't matter. It's just a prop. The setting is a Madison Avenue art gallery. You'll make your entrance into this scene in a few moments. Lights. The gallery is empty. Jessica wanders on. She is preoccupied, not really looking at anything. She needs a few moments of solitude before the rigors of opening night. Suddenly, she thinks she has passed something she should have looked at more closely and retraces her steps.
Not my taste.
You startled me.
Next time I'll clear my throat. Is this true?
If you mean the gossip column.
That's exactly what I mean. Is it true?
Yes.
Well, congratulations. Things are looking up. The actress marries the playwright and live happily ever after. With him writing star vehicles for her, of course.
That's a hostile thing to say.
I'm in a hostile mood. Comes from the impression the actress had an understanding with the director.
Oh, and what kind of understanding is that?
Promises of things to come. All the sidelong glances, the body language, the request for help with your part.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that standard procedure in the theater?
Not the way you did it. And it served its purpose. Special attention from the director. Tender, loving care.
I don't have to take this.
Listen, you and I never really had a go at it. Why don't we at least give it a try?
You're serious?
I could be.
Now, why on earth would I tie myself down to someone like you? No money, no talent, no future? What's in it for me?
Lights. You've got a major contradiction here, Alex.
How so?
Look at her character. In one scene, she's trusting, innocent, but here she's as cold as ice.
The many faces of Jessica. Besides, maybe that's just the way he sees her.
But it's not true. Did she use him or didn't she?
Now, the important thing is that he thinks she did.
At least it's a better motive than he gave my character.
I don't agree.
All right, Lloyd. When in doubt, touch base with reality. Let's take the case of you and Monica.
What case?
Well, you were concentrating on her, giving her special attention.
She needed it. It was her first time on stage.
Granted. But there was talk that you were going above and beyond the call of duty.
That's not true.
But suppose it was. Suppose you misinterpreted her professional needs for something more personal. And then to discover she was going to marry another man.
Alex, what are you getting at?
Beg your pardon?
Are we talking about the scene or are we talking about Monica?
That's a good question. Alex, we've known each other a long time, so I'm entitled to be blunt. Why are we here?
Well, you know why, Bella. To read my new play.
It's not a play. It's a bunch of unrelated scenes. All of them uncomfortably close to the truth.
They are not. She never came to my apartment.
Who, David? Jessica or Monica?
There is no Jessica. And as for Monica...
Yes?
Look, all we had was a professional relationship.
Just like Lloyd's.
Hey, I don't know anything about that. I'm speaking for myself.
Hey, if you're suggesting...
Darlings, darlings, darlings. We're all friends here.
I'm not so sure.
Will somebody please tell me what's going on?
My sentiments exactly. Alex, you asked all an explanation. If not, I have masses of work to do at the office. Well?
As you wish, Bella. Sit down. Finish your coffee.
I'll sit, but wild horses couldn't get me to finish that coffee.
The truth, if you really want it, is that I am writing a new play, a murder mystery. 5 suspects and an unknown killer.
Hey, I hope it's me. That makes for a better part.
Oh, shut up, Leo.
My, how things change. Remember our rehearsals? You couldn't walk behind a piece of scenery without finding these two locked in an embrace.
Time passes, David. Ingenues become leading ladies, and leading men become character actors.
Please, children.
If Leo and I broke up, it's none of his business.
But it could be mine. As a matter of fact, I have a scene written about it.
You do? Alex, you're digressing.
How clever of you to note a statement of fact.
But they investigated. The police.
The police were wrong.
Alex, we all know you've had a terrible loss. We understand your grief. But what you're doing here, it won't bring Monica back, and it won't change things.
Well, then you have nothing to lose by indulging me.
Nothing to lose? What have we to gain? You bring us down here, make terrible accusations of murder, and you expect us to stand here politely and allow you to continue? You're a good playwright, Alex. You write good plays, but not that good.
All I'm asking...
I know what you're asking. At least I think I do. I think you've got some nerve. I'm sorry.
Well, that does it. Class dismissed.
Excuse me, Miss Daniels, don't you think you should reconsider?
Who are you?
We met last year at Miss Brown's suicide. I took a stand-in from you.
Karen, you remember Lieutenant McElroy?
Well, McElroy, he was the investigating officer. I spoke to him myself.
What's he doing here?
I asked him to come. Karen, would you do me a favor and come back on stage? You too, Lieutenant.
If you wouldn't mind, ma'am, it might be helpful.
Perhaps you can explain all this.
Well, not much to explain, ma'am. Mr. Dennison asked me here today. He said he had some new information on the death of Monica Wells.
A moment ago you said suicide, not death.
Yes, ma'am, it was a suicide. That is my view and the official determination of the medical examiner.
Then the case is closed. Why are we wasting our time?
Because the lieutenant is willing to give me a hearing. That's an admirable trait, don't you think?
I'll tell you it's not so admirable. We didn't know he was here.
Mr. Dennison asked me to keep out of sight. Thought I might inhibit you.
I wonder why.
He agreed to intervene if any of you tried to leave.
You can't hold us here against our will.
No, ma'am, this isn't official. You are perfectly free to go. But then I'd have to wonder why you're so anxious to leave.
So we're back to what do we have to lose?
Frankly, I think Mr. Dennison's on a wild goose chase. I have told him that, but I am willing to keep an open mind.
It is up to you, Karen.
As I said, Alex, you do write good plays. Perhaps you'll forgive my little outburst and think of me the next time you write one.
Thank you. It proves again the power of the pen. Now, Lieutenant, there is a chair off in the wings for you. I think I'll just take this pedestal back to the prop room and help Sally set up for the next scene.
So we just wait, as actors always do. The puppets without the puppeteer.
With any sense, we'd have all gone home by now.
Yeah, maybe lose a part for next season?
Oh, shut up! I mean, what's wrong with Alex? A year ago, he was fine, but now...
A year is a long time. He's obsessed.
No, there's a method to all this. He knows what he's doing.
That's a charitable interpretation. He certainly raked you across the coals.
That makes two of us.
And we're next, Karen, my dear.
I don't know what he could accuse me of. Monica and I were friends.
He'll think of something.
If you're both so worried, read the play. What? Your scenes, they should be among the rest. Look, forewarned is forearmed.
Why are you going along with all this nonsense, Lieutenant?
Is it nonsense, Mr. Matthews?
You know it's exists.
The department likes to be cooperative.
Especially when a celebrity's involved. You're humoring him, aren't you?
You said that, sir, and I didn't.
What's he getting at? Does he actually suspect one of us?
Nothing. No scene for us.
Nothing with their names on it?
Well, maybe he doesn't want us to do anything.
After all the fuss he made about me staying.
You won't be overlooked. Take my word for it. Your pages are probably hidden.
Why would he do that?
Part of keeping us off balance. He may be obsessed, Leo, but he's thorough. Very thorough. Why don't you look in his attaché case?
Right.
I don't think you should.
I don't care what you think. Nothing. No scene for us.
Looking for something?
My scene. I just wanted to read it over. I hate cold readings.
I have your pages, Karen. Here. And yours, Leo. As a matter of fact, I'd like you two to play a scene together.
You mean I don't have my own scene?
Huh, you need all the help you can get.
Oh, isn't she a sweetheart? Right between the shoulder blades.
It's easy when there's no backbone to get in the way.
Please, please.
Sally, would you bring in that telephone?
Is that for our scene?
No, I'm saving you two, giving you a big build-up. The next scene is Bella's.
Me? I'm not an actress.
Well, at least you admit it.
Sit down, Leo, Karen. Set them down there and get set on the lights, please. Bella, indulge me. All producers are actresses. Just bring along your chair. It's a simple phone call, and Sally's brought your script. The character will be a breeze for you. You're the producer of a play that's just opened to mixed notices. The after-show party is over and you're at home. The man on the other line is your accountant. It's all yours, Bella. Lights.
Hello, Harry. This is... What name shall I use?
Why not your own?
This is Bella Lamb. Sorry to drag you out of bed, darling, but I assume you've heard about the notices? Yes. The patient isn't exactly terminal, but the vital signs are fading fast. Harry, I know the paperwork is at the office, but do you remember offhand the insurance situation? No, specifically the non-appearance clause? I'm not sure that I like this, Alex.
What's the problem? It's just a play.
Harry, I was wondering about the amount of coverage. No No specific reason. Just give me a ballpark figure. Uh-huh. Yes, that's what I thought. Okay, thank you, darling. Go back to bed. Satisfied?
Yes, Bella, very realistic. You may have missed your calling. Lights.
Folks, I know I'm a bit slow,
Huh.
but I haven't the foggiest notion about what's going on here.
Then let me enlighten you, sweetheart. What Alex is trying to say is that I was the sole investor in chamber music. It was all my money.
All your money?
My husband's. What's the difference?
So?
So Bella stood to lose a small fortune, and possibly her husband, unless.
Unless, like the producer in this scene, I was covered by insurance. If I kept the play open and the star failed to appear, I'd collect the money. Is that your drift, Alex?
Only if you had that kind of coverage.
It's standard. You know I did.
Then Monica's death came at a convenient time for you.
The woman killed herself. Do you understand? Whether you want to believe it or not, she was depressed and she jumped from the terrace.
How can you be so sure, Bella? Were you there?
I get it. Alex is staging Hamlet.
You flipping out, Lloyd?
Hamlet, Act 2, Scene 2. The play within a play to catch his father's killer. I've heard the guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions.
The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
Right.
Very nice. But where's David?
Do you think he went home?
I need him here. He knows that.
What's the fuss? Maybe he just went to the bathroom.
Oh, there's someone in the wings.
Hey, Davo, we thought you bailed out on us, bud.
Who are you?
You know who I am.
I know who you say you are. Suppose you show me some kind of identification.
What's this all about?
Whoever this man is, he's not Lieutenant McElroy.
But I remember him.
You only think you do. There's a resemblance. Same age and same build. But I'm pretty good on faces, and our friend here is not the man who talked to me after Monica died.
Are you sure?
I just phoned the police. Lieutenant Henry McElroy was killed in the line of duty 6 months ago.
What?
Now, unless you're a ghost, I suggest you start telling us who you are.
Well, I tried.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce a fellow professional, Mr. Frank Heller.
He's an actor?
And a very good one.
Well, maybe not, Mr. Dennison. They got me.
Nothing to do with your performance. Unfortunately, David has too good a memory.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that Alex hired you to impersonate Lieutenant McElroy?
Yes, ma'am.
But why?
Very simple, Bella. For my little psychodrama to work, I had to keep all of you here. But given the nature of the situation, I was sure someone would try and leave. I needed, what shall I call it? Official leverage.
Of course, we might walk it on you, but not on a cop.
That was the idea. And since Lieutenant McElroy was no longer among the living.
And since a real police officer would never cooperate.
Exactly. I decided to hire a look-alike. Excuse me, David, an almost look-alike.
Does he know how much trouble he's in?
What do you mean? What trouble?
Impersonating an officer is a felony.
He never said he was a police officer. I did.
That's a technicality.
If you're angry, David, blame me. Mr. Heller was just following instructions.
And how did you get into this?
You wouldn't believe me, but I went to an audition.
An audition?
Yeah, my agent said that Alex Dennison was looking for an actor. Who might say no to that?
Go on.
Well, I went to this rehearsal hall, and there's maybe 10 other guys there. We all look pretty much the same. Mr. Dennison interviewed me, and that was that. About a week later, he called me back. This time there's only 3 guys there. Then there was just me.
What happened when he told you what he wanted?
I thought he was nuts.
Accurate impression.
Tell them the rest, Frank.
Well, first I said no. I mean, I never met Monica Wells, but like everybody else I read, she committed suicide. Then he explained things to me. He told me who murdered her and why she was killed.
Did he now?
And of course he offered you money.
Yes, ma'am.
How much?
$10,000.
10 grand? For that kind of money, I'd have my ex-wife killed.
Okay, I admit the money was important. But you people know how it is. Actors have to scramble for jobs. I've tended bar, I've been a hard hat, I've even driven a cab before. It's not much of a life. So when this came along,
No need to apologize, Frank.
Anyway, no hard feelings, I hope. Guess you won't be needing me no more. Suppose I should go.
Not quite yet. No one leaves here until we're finished.
Are you going to keep us here? You don't have your phony cop anymore.
Right, and I pretty much had a belly full of this.
We all have, Lloyd. But I think we should stick around for just a few moments longer.
What?
On one condition. That Alex tells us why he's so all-fire positive that Monica was murdered.
I think that's your cue, Alex.
Frank, I'll need your help.
What do you want me to do?
Be Lieutenant McElroy again. We've been over this. Give them the case for suicide.
Okay, there was no signs of forced entry into her apartment.
Correct. If she was killed by an intruder, how did he get in? And why wasn't anything taken? The police found $1,000 in cash on the premises. A thief would have taken it.
She knew her play was a flop.
So she was despondent.
She wrote a suicide note.
Concrete proof of her intentions.
After she sent the caterers home, she walked onto the bedroom, out on the terrace, and she
Say it.
She jumped.
In the words of the medical examiner's report, fall from a height, case closed.
But not for you.
Nobody commits suicide because of bad reviews.
It wasn't the reviews. It was the end of a dream for her.
Alex, you have to admit, sometimes she was, well, erratic. I mean, she walks out on a performance. I had to go on for her. Don't you remember?
Yes, the police made quite a point of that. Monica Wells gets into an argument with a playwright before the preview. She bolts from the theater, hails a cab, and goes home. She refuses to answer her phone, so we're forced to give a performance without her. She returns a few hours later and apologizes. Obviously proof of an unsound mind.
Obviously proof of something.
David, she was in love. She was struggling over whether or not to make a commitment. The tension was too much. We fought, she ran out, she came back. It was unprofessional, she admitted that. But it wasn't abnormal.
Alex, I've been listening very carefully, and I'm not hearing a case for murder.
She called me that night. She asked me to come over. Is that the behavior of a suicide?
Maybe it was a cry for help.
Then why did the line go dead in the middle of a sentence?
Because she changed her mind and hung up. The woman was under stress. She wasn't rational.
She was rational enough to make herself a pot of tea. I saw it on the table in the study.
That's your evidence? A pot of tea?
She was starting a new life. She had everything to live for. You saw her at the party. Was that a woman in despair?
Nobody can get into someone else's mind, Alex. Not even people we care about. Who knows what she was thinking that night?
I know. She was thinking about our future.
Alex, what Monica did was a terrible thing. She not only took her own life, but she rejected you. That's hard to accept. So you've come up with this fantasy about a murder. In a strange way, it's easier for you to live with.
I take it that means you're not going to help.
I just don't see what we can do.
Karen, Leo, would you play the last scene for me?
Alex, I'm sorry, but Bella's right. We're just not getting anywhere with this.
Leo, it's just a few pages.
Alex, I'm sorry.
Does anyone want to share a ride uptown?
Sure, you can drop me off at 75th Street.
Just a moment.
Alex!
Come back here, please.
Okay, we'll cooperate. Just put that thing away. You don't need it.
It seems I do.
Look, just give me that thing before somebody gets hurt.
David, don't!
He's bluffing.
I wouldn't count on it. Hold on, Alex. That's just a prop, right? That thing's not loaded.
Don't try and find out. Now, I'm sorry, but I'll have to ask you all to move to the center of the stage very slowly where I can see you. Very slowly.
Which of you is Alex Dennison?
I am. And you are?
Santoro. Santoro moving to storage. Got your shipment.
Sally, where's your truck, Mr. Santoro?
By the stage door. Want me to unload?
Sally, would you fly in the brown drop and then show Mr. Santoro where everything goes?
How do I do that?
There's a rope on the wall, dear. It's labeled brown drop. Just pull it. Santoro, you and your men can start unloading. Miss Barnett will show you where to put everything.
You got it.
Wait a minute.
Yeah?
Nothing.
Actresses. Okay, guys, dump it.
Bella, would you take that telephone off stage, please? David, would you strike the table down stage, please? And Lloyd, would you move all those chairs, please? Quickly. Help Lloyd, Frank. Karen, Leo, you come and get your scene.
You expect us to act?
That's exactly what I expect.
Did I get the right rope?
Perfect. Now come here, please.
Alex has a gun. Show business is so exciting. Yes, Mr. Dennison?
This is a floor plan. Make sure the moving men follow it exactly.
Right.
Ready?
Alex, please, we'll cooperate. Just put that thing away.
All right. In the interest of calming your nerves. But I'm going to keep it handy. Karen, the scene takes place on opening night. You're in your dressing room. That's a dressing table. Leo, you'll make your entrance into this scene in a few moments from off left. Ready?
No.
But you'll try, won't you? I don't think we'll bother with lights for this scene. Again, I'll read Monica's part. The scene starts with a knock at the door.
Yes?
It's Monica.
Monica?
May I come in?
Of course.
Not in makeup yet.
Well, I probably won't put it on for another hour or so.
And you're not quite sure which makeup to use, are you?
I don't understand.
I mean, say if I was to get sick, you'd have to play my part.
That's silly. Nobody gets sick opening nights.
Of course not. But you were quite good when you went on for me last week.
I did my best. The audience was disappointed. There really is no comparison.
You're being modest.
Doesn't really matter much. I mean, you are here.
That seems to surprise you.
Why would I be surprised?
I brought your tea back. You remember the special blend your grandmother whips up in her country kitchen?
Didn't you like it? It really helps calm me down.
So you said. Have some before opening night. Wonderful for the nerves.
It is.
Maybe, but not so good for the rest of the body.
I don't know what you mean.
Then let me see if I can make myself clear. Since you practically forced the tea on me, and since your motives are somewhat transparent, I took it to my doctor and asked him to send a sample to the lab.
A lab?
I learned a marvelous new word, cyclophosphamide. It's an alkylating agent, odd thing to find in your grandmother's recipe.
There must be some mistake.
It causes dizziness and nausea. A few sips and I'd be home right now and you'd know what makeup to use.
Monica.
You weren't even willing to pay your dues, were you?
Karen, hi. Oops, I didn't know you had company. Howdy, Monica.
This is private, Leo.
Not at all. Stay, Leo. The three of us should have a talk.
About what?
Oh, pick a subject. Opening nights, helping your wife's career, or should we talk about medical school? You did go to one for a few years, didn't you? I suppose you had to take courses in chemistry.
Well, yeah, but that was a long time ago. Why? What's all this about?
She knows.
About what?
About this. She had it analyzed.
Oh, brother.
Okay, so we spiked your tea. It wouldn't have harmed you, just slowed you down for tonight. The question is, what are you gonna do?
I told you this was crazy.
Oh, shut up!
But people go to jail for stuff like this.
Mr. Dennison. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. I was looking for Mr. Dennison.
Yes.
We're finished, Mr. Dennison. We'll be back in the morning to get the stuff.
Fine, thank you. Shall we see the set for the last scene?
Another scene?
Alex, I want you to know that scene we just played is nothing but lies.
You did bring her tea. She told me about it.
It was a gift. There was nothing in it. I mean, what good would it do me? Bella would never open with an understudy.
Would you, Bella? Or would you send everyone home at the last minute? The critics? The press? I wonder.
Alex, get real. Even if Karen was nuts, I'm not. And I'd never do something like that.
You were trying to save your marriage, Leo. You'd have done anything she wanted.
No way.
Alex, look, if there is another scene, can we please see it and get it over with?
Ah, the voice of reason.
At least one of us is rational.
David, would you strike this table off left, please?
All set, Mr. Dennison?
Get ready on the lights, Sally.
This looks like a real show.
Everyone ready?
Yes.
Yeah. Sally?
That's Monica's apartment.
Very good, Karen. Her study, the scene of the crime.
But how?
Her furniture was in storage. I had it brought here today in the interest of realism. Sally, the chairs.
I'm sorry, but it's... Is this...
The original? No, the police have that in their files. Everything else, though, is as it was. Our champagne glasses, the contents of the desk, even the tray of tea. I wouldn't, David. Monica didn't smoke. There are no ashtrays. Karen, that chair is out of place. Would you move it downstage, please?
Oh, can't little Wimpy Pooh move the chair? Well, let me get this for you, honey. It's just like this.
What now?
Alibis, Bella.
I was wondering when you'd get around to that.
I've established that you each had motives.
No, you haven't.
But a motive is nullified by a legitimate alibi.
Then you can cross me off your list. I didn't want to go home. I went to an after-hours club. I was there till 4 in the morning. I must have 20 witnesses.
And I was with my agents. We went back to my place after the party and commiserated.
Bella?
My husband and I took Meg Jones, the columnist, home. She invited us up and we talked for hours. I thought it might get us mentioned in the column, and I knew how much we needed the publicity.
Karen, that leaves you and Leo.
As you keep reminding us, we were married. We went home to bed.
Seems like everyone's accounted for, Alex.
Then who was Monica planning on meeting after the party?
Who says she was planning on meeting anyone?
She sent me home, David, on the one night I should have stayed. And she sent the caterers people home. She didn't even give them a chance to clean up. No. After the party, she was planning on meeting someone.
You're saying she didn't want you here because someone was coming?
Explains the circumstances, doesn't it? After I left, she let him in.
Him?
Or her. There was some kind of argument. She called me, he grabbed the phone, and hung it up. There was some sort of struggle, and Monica was struck and killed.
Where did all this happen?
Right here in the study.
Why not the bedroom or the living room?
The tea, Bella. She brought it in here.
We're back to that again. Look, maybe she forgot, okay? She was upset.
That won't wash, David. Not too upset to make a pot of tea, but too upset to drink it. And then, of course, there was the lights. They were all on when the police came in, and the door was unlocked.
Meaning?
Suicide is a private act. She had called me. I might try and come over and stop her, and she knew I had a key. So first, lock and latch the front door, and second, close and lock the bedroom door. But she didn't do that. After the party, she was never in the bedroom alive.
So, your imaginary murderer carries her to the terrace and then throws her off.
Yeah. Why not? Instead of an unexplained corpse, he creates a suicide.
And the note?
He searches. Finds a piece of stationery. Here.
What about fingerprints?
Gloves. Handkerchief. He presses her fingers to it. And then rolls it in the typewriter. Her prints are on it, his aren't.
Very ingenious, Alex. But even if you're right, even if Monica was murdered, it wasn't one of us. Unless you don't believe our alibis.
On the contrary, I hired a firm of private detectives to check them out. And most of them held up.
Most of them?
3 of you were with witnesses when Monica was killed. David, you were at the club. Lloyd was with his agents. And Bella, you were with Meg Jones.
Now hold on.
But you and Karen, Leo, you two only alibi each other.
We were together.
We have only your word for that.
Alex, what are you saying?
We have 5 motives here, all hypothetical. But one of them is a matter of record. Read it.
And this is a laboratory report. Chemical analysis of a tea sample submitted by Monica Wells in April of last year.
What does it say?
The sample was saturated with... I can't even pronounce it, but it causes illness and incapacitation.
I found that among her effects.
It's a fake.
It looks genuine to me, Leo, and it's easy enough to check.
1 legitimate motive, 2 unsupported alibis.
I'm not going to listen to this.
She found out what you were doing. Both of you pleaded with her.
I never went back there.
Then who did?
I don't know. Maybe Leo.
But you were with Leo.
Not all the time. He went out for a walk.
That's what I wanted to hear.
What are you trying to do to me?
Well, you did. You said you couldn't sleep and you wanted to take a walk.
How long was he gone, Karen?
I don't know, 20 minutes, an hour?
No alibi, Leo, and a motive.
This is crazy. Don't tell me any of you believes this. So what? I went for a walk. Is that some kind of crime? And what about Karen? If I don't have an alibi, either does she.
Doesn't matter, Leo.
And why doesn't it?
Because Monica was murdered in here. Her murderer would have to carry her through the bedroom and onto the terrace. And as you all saw, Karen couldn't even lift that chair. You killed her, Leo.
She killed herself and I'm getting out of here.
Her whole life ahead of her and you killed her! Leo, listen to him! Come back, Leo!
Alice!
I got him! Careful of the gun!
Please, I've got him lights in here.
Oh, I got a flashlight. Where is he? Will somebody say something? Would you tell me where he is?
Lights, Sally.
What is this? What's going on?
Where did you get the flashlight, Frank?
What?
The flashlight. Where did you get it?
Well, right here in the drawer.
How did you know it
I
was there?
didn't. I was just looking, for matches.
Monica didn't smoke. I made that clear. Why would she keep matches in her desk?
What is this?
Why did you open that particular drawer?
It was dark. I opened a lot of drawers.
No, you didn't. Try them. I had them all sealed, all except one, and that's the one you went to.
Yeah, well, so what? What difference does that make, huh?
You went there because you knew you'd find a flashlight.
Now, how would I know about that? Guy, how would I know that?
Because you saw it the night you killed Monica, when you went in there for a piece of stationery for her suicide note.
Yeah, well, he could have seen it. He was there. You said so himself.
He doesn't get it yet.
Get what?
Leo was never there at all. After the party, he went back to his wife and 3 children.
Excuse me?
And the closest he ever got to medical school was playing a male nurse off Broadway.
I was very good in that.
But you said that
We all said a lot of things.
y'all had motives.
None of them were true.
Well, you wanted her out of the way.
You mean Grandma's homemade tea? No such concoction. It was just part of the script.
Script?
Listen carefully, Frank. Nothing you saw here today was real. Nothing. The scenes we played, the arguments, they all came out of my typewriter, with a little improvisation from my friends.
I thought we were terrific.
As for the motives, we invented them. Karen and Leo were never married, at least not to one another.
How's your wife, Leo?
Pregnant. Again.
Monica and David were close friends, and her relationship with Lloyd was strictly professional.
And I never put my own money into production. And certainly not my husband's. He'd kill me.
Almost forgot. Here's your lighter back.
You kept it.
Wouldn't do for you to have a lighter in your pocket, Frank. You might not have gone for the flashlight.
And then this whole thing was staged.
For an audience of one.
Blanks? And the auditions hired me to play a cop.
Just an excuse to get you here. We had to make you a participant. We even recreated her study so you'd be back where you were a year ago tonight.
And then we agreed that I'd pull the lights.
How did you know about me and Monica?
I didn't at first, but it was obvious she was expecting someone that night.
Yeah, but why me? Out of all the people in New York.
Earlier that day, she had asked me if I could keep someone from working. I thought it was an odd thing to say. And later that night, she was counting money. $1,000.
So?
It suddenly occurred to me that that money might be blackmail money. Maybe she was paying someone off.
Well, that still doesn't explain.
$1,000, though, isn't much. Who would Monica think she could pay off for that kind of money? And who could Alex Dennison, a successful playwright, keep from working?
An actor, naturally.
If there was a blackmailer and he was coming for a payoff, he'd probably wait until after our party was over. And it was raining that night.
Alex remembered there was a cab parked across the street with the off-duty sign on. I was complaining about it.
I also remember the day Monica ran out of here after our fight. She took a cab home.
And we all know the cliche about out-of-work actors driving taxis.
And you did say you drove one yourself for a while, Mr. Heller.
Every cab company keeps a record of its pickups and deliveries. It seems that a Frank Heller took a fare from this theater to Monica's apartment the night of our fight. It also seems that he had his cab out on the night Monica was murdered with no recorded fares.
So why didn't you go to the police?
And with what? Suspicions? No, we had to prove you were in her apartment that night.
Yeah, so you decided to do a number on me. You were good. You were all good.
What happened that night, Frank?
Yeah, that's right. Without me, you don't have a second act to finish, do you? Just parked across the street waiting for all the guests to leave. The party broke up early. Some even tried to get me to take you places in the rain. I was pretty tense. I had had a few drinks and just sitting there was driving me nuts. Finally, she sent the caterers home. I went up. She was expecting me. So how are the reviews?
You don't care about the reviews.
Okay, no polite conversation. You want to get down to business, we'll get down to business. But you were a lot friendlier the last time I was here.
This isn't the last time, Frank. I want you to understand something. I was angry at Alex. He opened up emotions in me I didn't know I had. And like a fool, I guess I wanted to punish him for it. So when I got in your cab that day...
I couldn't believe it. Monica Wells coming on to me, inviting me up for a drink.
I was using you. Or at least in a crazy moment I planned to. Some nutty idea about making Alex jealous. But I came to my senses and I sent you home.
Yeah,
Nothing happened.
But he does not know that. We were together for hours. Oh, you even missed your performance.
Do you really think that he'll believe that I picked up a cab driver and let him make love to me?
Maybe, maybe not. But I'm betting you'd rather pay a few bucks than forget the whole thing.
Nuisance value.
Call it whatever you like. Look, I don't enjoy doing this, but what else do I have going for me? I've been an actor for 5 years and I'm driving a cab. I need a steak, something to get me going again. So when I Opened up the newspaper this morning.
You saw Alex and I were getting married.
I figured he was a lucky man. Why couldn't I be lucky too?
I got you into this, Frank, so I owe you something. If you walk away now, I won't mention your name to anyone.
Sorry.
I was going to pay you. I actually went to the bank and took out $1,000.
Whoa, we're talking about a lot more money than that.
Doesn't matter, Frank, because you're not getting anything.
Oh?
I decided that even if you did call it off, I would still tell Alex the truth.
Not very smart, especially right before the wedding.
It's about time I was honest with him. As you said, maybe he'll forgive me, maybe he won't. Either way, he's not going to be willing to forgive a blackmailer.
Now, wait a minute here.
I wouldn't want to be you, Frank. He's got a lot of friends. Hello, Alex? I know how terrible it is out, but could you possibly come back here? Right now, but... I did, but please, it's terribly important.
You know what you're doing?
I think so.
You're just gonna ruin things for yourself.
Well, why don't you stick around and see, Frank? I'm sure I'll want to meet you.
Don't answer it. I said don't answer it. Monica? Monica! I called her name. I tried to revive her. I even took her pulse. I could feel it flickering for a few seconds, and then it stopped. When I realized she was dead, I didn't know what to do.
So you manufactured a suicide?
I didn't want a murder investigation. I cleaned her blood away from the desk. I took her body out on the terrace, and you know the rest. Look, I've been living in this for a long time. I did what I did, but it was an accident. For whatever it's worth, I didn't mean to kill her.
You up in the light booth, Loretta?
Just came down, Alex. Heard everything loud and clear, just like you said.
Is the lieutenant with you?
Here I am, Mr. Dennison.
Who's that?
Frank, meet the man you impersonated. Lieutenant McElroy.
But you said that he was...
Killed in the line of duty? I believe that was the dialogue, delivered, as always, with my well-known credibility.
Thank you for coming.
It's a good thing I did. I suppose I owe you an apology.
Not really. We didn't have any proof.
Consider me a convert. You've done our work for us.
You know, I don't look anything like him.
We had to give you a reason for being here, Frank. One that you'd believe.
Well, come along, Mr. Howard.
You know, if you ever write a play about this, at least I gave you an ending.
Thank you, all of you.
And I never thought it would work.
Especially with me. I was so afraid that I'd blow my lines.
Hate to admit it, Bella, but you weren't half bad. I mean, for a non-pro.
You know, the one thing I can't understand is why he went along with it.
Frank Heller?
You offered him a lot of money, and you told him it was a trap for Leo. That made him feel safe. You'd pin it on the wrong man and stop looking. But even so, he knew he killed Monica. Why get involved at all?
One reason, Lloyd. He's an actor. I was offering him a great part.
Darlings, it's all been too exhausting. I think we all deserve to go down to Nora's and have a cup of her revolting coffee.
Who's paying?
It's the producer who always pays.
Alex?
Save me a spot.
You know, it's the loser always pays, and that's what I was saying. Well, I can really ask, can't I?
I thought you were all wonderful. Please, dear, their egos are big enough as it is.
Oh, that went well.
$3 more.
No, change $60 that way now.